Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Once upon a time, in a magnificent castle bathed in sunlight, lived a lovely princess named Snow White. Her skin was as white as snow, her lips as red as a rose, and her hair as black as ebony. Snow White had a heart full of kindness. She spent her days singing with the birds and sharing secrets with the squirrels. Every creature, big and small, was her friend. But the castle also housed Snow White's stepmother, the queen. She was a woman of stunning beauty, but her heart was cold and filled with vanity. The queen possessed a magic mirror. Every single morning, without fail, she would stand before it and ask the same question. "Magic mirror on the wall," she would say, her voice echoing in the chamber, "who is the fairest one of all?" For many years, the mirror's answer pleased her. It would reply in a deep, hollow voice, "You, my queen, are the fairest of all." This filled her with wicked pride. But as Snow White grew, so did her beauty, a beauty that came from her kind and gentle spirit. One morning, the queen asked her question, but the mirror gave a different answer. "My queen, you are fair, it is true," the mirror boomed, "but Snow White is 1,000 times fairer than you." A terrible, jealous rage consumed the queen. She could not bear the thought of anyone being more beautiful than she. She summoned her most trusted huntsman. "Take Snow White deep into the forest," she commanded, her voice like ice. "And to prove you have done as I asked, bring me back her heart in this box." The huntsman's heart was heavy. He had known the princess since she was a child and loved her dearly. He led her into the forest, but he could not bring himself to harm her. With tears in his eyes, he confessed the queen's evil plan. "Run, child," he urged. "Run away and never, ever come back to the castle." Terrified, Snow White ran. She ran as fast as she could, deeper and deeper into the dark woods. Twisted branches looked like grabbing arms, and glowing eyes watched her from the shadows. She finally collapsed in a clearing, weeping. But soon, the forest creatures she had always been kind to crept out from their hiding places. They saw her tears and wanted to help. A friendly squirrel chattered on her shoulder, and a gentle deer nuzzled her hand. Understanding her plight, the animals led her through the woods to safety. They brought her to a small, sunny clearing. There, nestled amongst the flowers, was a strange and charming little cottage with a mossy roof. She knocked, but no one answered. The door creaked open, and she peeked inside. Everything was tiny. 7 little chairs, 7 little plates, and 7 little beds. The house was also quite messy. "They must be children," she thought kindly. "I'll clean the house for them as a surprise." She happily began to sweep and tidy, with the animals helping where they could. Soon, the owners of the cottage returned from their work in the diamond mine. They were not children, but 7 dwarfs. They were surprised to see a light on in their home. They crept inside and found the beautiful princess asleep across 3 of their little beds. They gathered around, whispering in amazement. When she awoke, she told them her story. The dwarfs felt sorry for her and offered her a home. "You can stay with us," said Doc. "If you will cook and clean and keep house for us." Snow White joyfully agreed. But back at the castle, the queen went to her mirror. "Magic mirror on the wall," she asked, "who now is the fairest of all?" The mirror replied, "Over the 7 jeweled hills, beyond the 7th fall, in the cottage of the 7 dwarfs, Snow White is fairest of all." Mad with fury, the queen used dark magic to create a poison apple. It was beautiful and red on one side, but a single bite of that side would cause an eternal sleep. Disguised as an old woman, she went to the cottage. The trusting princess took a bite of the poisoned fruit. Instantly, she fell to the floor in a deep, magical sleep. The dwarfs returned to find their beloved princess and were heartbroken. They built a coffin of glass and gold so they could always look upon her beauty. One day, a prince from a nearby kingdom was riding through the forest and saw her. Struck by her beauty, he leaned down and gave her a gentle kiss. The spell broke, and Snow White's eyes fluttered open. She had found her true love, and they all lived happily ever after.